If you plan on being successful in life, in a relationship, in business, then you have to optimize yourself.
Welcome to the Bedros Keuilian Show.
Hey gang, welcome to the Bedros Keuilian Show. My name is Bedros Keuilian, and today we're going to talk about something that I have a big regret about. And that regret is not optimizing my body and my mind sooner in life. As I got into my 40s is when I really focused on health optimization. And I believe that the optimized man can live a much better, fulfilling, happier, more successful life over a longer period of time than the man who is just kind of foggy-headed, unhealthy, and sloppy, and not really fully optimizing his health. So without any further ado, let's get this show on the road. So I wanted to talk about becoming the optimized man, because we talk about money, meaning, and self-mastery on the show. By the way, with money, meaning, and self-mastery, I'm reminded that Bedros Keuilian Live is coming up May 31st in Anaheim, California at the beautiful Grove Theater. And we're going to do a deep dive into you being able to make more money, create multiple income streams, build your personal brand. If you have a business, the marketing, sales, leadership, and processes that it takes to scale and get to the next level of profitability, and meaning, fulfillment, purpose. Like if you're not living a meaningful life, a purpose-driven life, then you're just no matter how much money you make, you still feel unfulfilled. And finally, self-mastery, right? What is it all for if you are still self-sabotaging yourself, stressed, depressed, anxious, overwhelmed, and never really feeling the full joys of life? That is self-mastery, to overcome your shit and to break through into the next level. And so BK Live is exactly that. Myself and amazing speakers that I've got lined up are going to pour into you, give you the blueprint to make more money, have more meaning, and have higher levels of self-mastery. And it's an opportunity for us to come together, because proximity is powerful. And when you're within proximity of powerful people, of people who you want to be like, you begin to see that they are no different than you. You begin to network with them, connect with them, and build a tribe and connection of like-minded winners. So I hope I see you at BK Live May 31st in Anaheim, California. The link is at bedroskeuilian.com. We'll leave it in the show notes and, of course, in the first comment. So without further ado, let's dive into what the optimized man is. Like I said, if there was any one regret that I have, it's that I didn't optimize my body and my brain sooner. I believe that had I done that, I would have achieved success, financial success, a lot faster, with less friction, less stress, depression, and anxiety that I dealt with. And honestly, I would have been happier on the journey, right? It's like the journey is the fun part. Now that I'm 50, going to 51, I realize looking back, the journey to success is the fun part. But when the journey is so painful and overwhelming and daunting and depressing, you're not going to have a fun time doing it. But if you had optimized your brain and body, you can. So what does the optimized man look like? So first of all, let's talk about what optimized means. It means literally becoming the best in every category of health, right? If your body has the potential to sleep better, what if you could actually sleep better, allowing your brain to regenerate, to rebuild, your body to regenerate and rebuild, so that you can take on the next day even better with less frustration and friction and effort. So being optimized means getting the most out of your brain and body, right? Like you can optimize your car. You know, you put a new air intake in it, you might change the spark plugs, you might change and put a new supercharger in it or turbos, and you might change a lot of factors in your car to optimize the engine and the performance of that car. There's more that car can do, but you have to optimize it by adding more to it and sometimes taking things away from it, right? Like taking, I know guys that are into drag racing that take out the back seats and the passenger seat just to make the car lighter, so that it's more optimized to go down the drag strip for that quarter mile. And so optimization is everything you do to become the better, best, and most absolute fucking badass version of yourself. And the example I want to give you guys is if you were to get in a ring, if someone said, hey, you have 1 year, and in 1 year, we're going to put you in the ring with a pro UFC fighter, right? I don't know, let's say John Jones. God help you. If you go in the ring, doesn't matter if you have 10 years. I think he's just the absolute fucking tip of the spear where combatives are concerned, and the man is like untouchable. untouchable. Big shout out to John Jones. But let's say that you have no choice. In 1 year, we're going to put you in the ring with John Jones. Now, are you going to spend that year just going like, fuck it, I'm going to will myself and I'm going to hope that I do well and that I survive, going 3 rounds with him? Or do you think maybe you're going to optimize your fight skills, which means that you're going to get stronger, leaner, build endurance, learn combatives, learn jujitsu, learn Muay Thai, learn strikes and elbows and knees and kicks, right? There's so many things, and then increase your mental toughness and your ability to withstand a good punishing, because you can improve the odds. No one says you're going to beat John Jones a year from now, but you're going to come out less bloodied, less bruised, and probably have more self-respect. Hell, if you go in there as a regular person after a year of training and conditioning, mentally and physically, and with your skill sets, and you're still beat by John Jones, but you put up a formidable fight, you might get some new sponsors. You might be respected by people who would otherwise be like, who is this clown? He just went in there like a sack of like a polenta sausage and had his ass handed to him, right? You wouldn't never allow yourself to go in there like a soft packet of polenta sausage and get hammered. You'd want to do some level of optimization in the category of combatives, endurance, strength, even mental toughness, so that you can be a formidable opponent to John Jones. Well, same thing here. If you plan on being successful in life, in a relationship, in business, then you have to optimize yourself. Because if you are not optimized, you're not going to get the respect, you're not going to get the money, you're not going to get the girl, you're not going to get the fame, you're not going to get any of those attributes that we men value, because the optimized man is able to get there faster and retain that desired outcome longer. So let's talk about it, because as I think about it, man, had I optimized my health, my body and my brain, my skill set sooner, I would have achieved success faster with less friction, less frustration, and better health, and would have had less regrets, quite honestly. I mean, you've heard me talk about all the different fucking shit that I had to go through because I had allowed myself to emotionally eat when I was building out my companies, and I had gained the weight, so I was unhappy with my weight, which means I wasn't sleeping well because I was taking all those stimulants, and then I would wake up and take even more stimulants, and I would stay up late at night till 2 a.m. thinking that I was actually doing good work by working on my business, but I was stealing time away from my sleep, which means I would get up like angry and cranky and irritable, and at that point, you're just not making your best decisions in business, as a leader, in any of those categories. And so I want to break this down for you. I have kind of 8 sections of what the optimized man needs to focus on to become his best version, brain and body, to perform in any category, in business, in sports, in a relationship or health, to be respected and to be someone who is formidable. So let's dive into it. Thing number 1 is obviously your body, right? Number 1 is, I wrote down, I need you to be lean. If I could go back, I would be lean, low fat, strong, and have high endurance sooner in life. And that means that you're going to go in the gym 5 days a week, work out 5 days a week, like really get after it. Like get after it in the gym with weight training, build muscle. My doctor and my good friend and my former coaching client, Dr. Gabrielle Lyon, she says muscle is the longevity organ, right? It's the organ of longevity. The more muscle you build, the better bone density you have. The more muscle you have, the better cognition, mental capacity you have. The more muscle you build, the higher metabolism you have. Muscle truly is the organ of longevity. And so you're going to get into the gym and work out 5 days a week. Like when I say workout, I mean resistance training, right? But then you also have to focus on building your endurance. Now, I'm not a big cardiovascular fan. I don't like going on the treadmill or going outside and going on a run. So I choose jujitsu. 3 days a week, I do jujitsu. And when you are rolling for 60 to 90 minutes at a time, I'm leaving a puddle of sweat everywhere. And at the end of every one of my workouts in the gym, I do this finisher that I've named Ride the Lightning. And I'll do it for anywhere between 8 and 12 minutes. right? So let's average it to 10 minutes. So after I get a good 45-minute workout where I like pick 2 body parts and just destroy those body parts for 45 minutes in the weight room, taking the shortest amount of rest I can in between sets, oftentimes supersetting things, right? To get my heart rate up. At the end of that workout, I'll go on the turf, I'll load up the sled with a couple of plates, and I'll tie a TRX strap to it. And then I'll pull the sled all the way to the end of the turf or halfway through the turf, and then push the sled back as fast as I can, and then grab a couple of 45-pound plates and do a farmer carry to the end of the turf and back. And then back to the sled, pull the sled, push the sled, and then grab some plates and do farmer carry to the end of the turf and back. And I just rinse and repeat that for 10 minutes straight until my alarm on my timer goes off. When I'm done, my heart rate is through the roof. I'm sweating profusely. And on top of that, 3 days a week, I'm doing jujitsu. And when I'm doing jujitsu, I'm burning a lot of calories. I'm building a lot of endurance, cardiovascular endurance and muscle endurance, right? Which is different than muscle strength. And if I could do that, now I've got a good cardiovascular and strength foundation. I'm optimized there. But if I want to stay lean and low fat, like I said, I have to focus on my eating, right? Number 2, I have to focus on my eating, which means I need to be able to dial in my macros. So I'm just going to give you guys an example. If you want to be lean, strong, and have high endurance at 200 pounds as a guy, you'll probably want to take in about 1 gram to 1.2 grams of protein per pound of body weight. So let's say 200-pound dude who's lean and strong and has good endurance. You're probably going to take in 210 grams of protein per day. You're going to take in about 250 grams of carbohydrates per day. And those carbohydrates are going to come from real complex starches, right? Things like oatmeal, rice, sweet potatoes, yams, regular potatoes, and not from highly processed foods like, white bread or any kind of bread for that matter, easily broken down carbs like sugar and fruit and things like that. Fruit is not the best thing for you. You should have some fruit, not a lot of fruit. And if you have fruit, have the whole variety of berries because it's low glycemic, meaning your blood sugar is not going to spike. But if you want to stay lean, you have to take in about, for a 200-pound dude, lean and strong, high endurance, 210 grams of protein per day, spread it out over 4 or 5 meals if you can, 250 grams of carbohydrates a day to fuel your body, your muscles, and your cardiovascular system when you're getting after it, right? And then 60 to 70 grams of fat. And that gives you about 2,500, 2,600 calories per day. So 70 grams of fat per day. That fat should come from things like olive oil, things like coconut oil, things like avocado oil, and fish oils, right? Simple as that. Simple as that. And if you're doing this, you're going to stay strong. And if you're like, well, I don't want to be 200 pounds. I want to be 180 pounds lean, strong, and high endurance, or 230 pounds. Great. Go online and figure out what your macros should be based on your training of 5 days a week and then doing whatever endurance training you're doing 3 to 4 days a week. And, design your carbohydrates, proteins, and fats around your desired goals. But you got to be lean and strong. You got to have an optimized body if you plan on doing anything big and awesome in life. If you plan on really helping change the world, inspire the world, make a lot of money, influence people, be respected, you need a body that says this motherfucker means business. Like this person is showing up like a savage. So if you've got that and that down, your training and your eating down, what about your drinking? Number 3, right? Like what are you drinking? You should be drinking about a gallon of water per day. Just spread it out throughout the day. Most often, though, everyone's drinking all types of either coffees, frappuccinos, and all that bullshit, or you're drinking energy drinks that have so much other stimulants and chemicals in it that are sucking out valuable nutrients from your body and poisoning you at the same time. And so I share this with you because if you are not drinking enough water to stay hydrated, because you think, well, I'm getting enough water plus the coffee and the energy drinks I'm getting helps me enough with the hydration, you're wrong. It doesn't. All of that stuff, all that other stuff other than water probably dehydrates you further because when you are drinking stimulants, you're now actually burning more water and you're dehydrating yourself. So you will actually need more water, right? Don't expect your body to take a cappuccino and extract the water out of it. That's expecting a lot of your body. It will do it, but it takes a lot of work. And in the process, you get more dehydrated. And if you're dehydrated, your body's not doing any of its chemical processes efficiently. Like, go listen to any Andrew Huberman podcast, and you'll see that water is the base that all your cells need. If your cells are dehydrated, all of the processes that take place to create energy, to burn fat, to build muscle, to restore your brain, takes place in a cell that's properly hydrated. If your cells are not properly hydrated, you are not getting the recovery and the rebuilding that you need in your cells. So how are you going to be able to function as a decent human being that's going to deal with a lot of stress if you're trying to do anything big in life, right? Now, if you're trying to stay a peasant and just be broke and be credit card debt, have floppy tits and sit on your mom's couch and leave a butt print of fucking Cheeto dust there with more Cheeto dust in your belly buttons and stretch marks around your fucking waistline, guess what? You don't need to do any of this stuff. You can just bypass this and keep playing Call of Duty with your pants around your ankles and every now and again pulling up YouPorn or fucking Pornhub or whatever the most popular fucking OnlyFans account is these days. But if you're like, I want to be optimized and I want to be a fucking savage and do fucking amazing things in life, make money, have income, have influence, and really inspire people, you've got to be optimized. And hydration is a big part of it, just like eating clean is a big part of it. You have to treat your body like an athlete. The optimized man treats himself like he's an athlete. My sport just happens to be entrepreneurship, right? So even if you're not an athlete in terms of like at the pro level, whatever it is you're doing in life that is your life's purpose, that is your sport. So if you see yourself and treat yourself like an athlete, you'll be like, fuck, I need to be optimized. I need to eat right. I need to be strong, have endurance, have flexibility, have mobility, be functional. And I need to get my cardiovascular in. I need to get my weight training in. I have to eat the macros that are going to fuel my body, not feed my body, fuel my body. You see the difference? You see yourself as an athlete. You see yourself as a machine. You fuel the machine instead of feeding your emotions and what you feel like eating, right? The fat fucks out there will deep throat a hot dog and then chase it down with a fucking biscuit and then poison their body with an energy drink afterwards. The people that are savages who are going to get after in life know better. And they're like, fuck that, man. I'm going to eat right. I'm fueling this fucking machine. Hey guys, quick interruption to the Bedros Keuilian Show. I took some time to go to the local juice stores here in town, and I bought all these different ginger, turmeric, and wellness shots. Now, they range anywhere from $3.69 all the way to $4.05. And to be honest with you, they all suck. Why? Because they do not have anywhere near the wonderful ingredients of the Trulian Wellness Shot. First of all, to build your immune system and keep your immune system strong, Trulian Wellness Shot is packed with vitamin C, vitamin D, and zinc, and also to help you fight off inflammation. It is packed with turmeric, ginger, and black pepper. And to keep you hydrated, Trulian Wellness Shots have sodium, potassium, and magnesium. This is the ultimate morning supplement. Just take one packet, pour it in 4 ounces of water, and shoot it, and you're good to go. Best of all, $1.69 per packet instead of twice the price of those other inferior ones. I want you to get 50% off your first 30-day supply. So go to Trulian.com, use my name, Bedros, and you can get 50% off plus free shipping, a 30-day money-back guarantee, and $1 gets donated to Shriners Children's Hospital. Best of all, if you like the Trulian Wellness Shots, and I know you will, like thousands of other people who are part of the Trulian tribe, every month we'll send you a new supply at 20% off, free shipping. So go to Trulian.com, use my name, Bedros, and get your 50% discount code before it goes away. Back to the show. So if we know that, then we go to number 4, the poisons. I told you, there's poisons out there, right? Number 4 is you have to eliminate the poisons. Alcohol is a poison. High amounts of sugar is a poison. Sugar itself just is a poison. You know sugar to be, first of all, sugar pulls minerals out of your cells. Wonderful micronutrients and minerals out of your cells that your cells need. Sugar will pull it out. That's horrible. Number 1. Sugar also, you know this as, well, diabetes. Right? Too much sugar fucks with your insulin, you have diabetes. What you don't know that they've recently discovered is high amounts of sugar over a prolonged period of time is known as type 3 diabetes, dementia, Alzheimer's, right? So sugar in the body is diabetes. Sugar in the brain is Alzheimer's, is dementia. Remember, I told you guys last year, my mom died in 2023. So over a year ago, my mom died. September 23rd, 2023, my mom died. She had Alzheimer's for 7 years. She was diagnosed 7 years earlier. It could have absolutely been prevented, but she was eating so much sugar. It broke my heart. And it's not, when you say sugar, I don't want you to just think like actual white powder. Like it's in your soda, it's in your cappuccino, it's in the baked goods that you're eating. It's hidden in so much shit. You'll see a food package that says non-fat, but it'll be loaded with sugar. Or food that is simply processed carbohydrates, your body just recognizes as sugar. It just breaks down into sugar. And that sugar in your body is diabetes, and in your brain is dementia, Alzheimer's. Type 3 diabetes now is Alzheimer's disease. And you don't want that. So what a horrible way to go. Start losing your memory, not remembering your friends and family, not remembering events, and eventually the part of your brain that dies from dementia, from Alzheimer's disease, is the part that that makes you breathe and you suffocate to death. I saw that firsthand. I was there holding my mom's hand as she suffocated to death. I don't want that for you. The optimized man does not fucking do that. I'm telling you, it's a regret. If I can go back and knew about optimizing my body even better. I cared about lifting weights. I cared about looking good in a t-shirt, but I was still stressed. I was still overwhelmed in my diet. I was like, I could always out-train in my bad diet in my 20s and 30s. What I didn't realize is, yes, I looked good, but I was probably poisoning my body and my brain because of the sugar and because of the alcohol. 2.5 years ago, I stopped drinking alcohol. Best decision I did. And I was a social drinker. I would just have a cocktail or two a couple times a month. And believe it or not, after quitting that, about 3-4 months in, after quitting alcohol, just social drinking, I started to have better mental clarity, less fogginess. And I was like, holy shit, I didn't realize just a couple of cocktails per month could do that to you. And whatever you want to call it, I'm a social drinker, it takes the edge off, I like it, I like red wine with a good steak. Fuck you. You're poisoning your body. You can call it what you want. You're poisoning your body, right? If you're smoking cigarettes, you're poisoning your body. You're vaping on all types of weird shit. You're poisoning your body. Your body and your brain are not going to be optimized. Yeah, but man, I'm anxious, I'm depressed. Guess what? Go get a great workout in, go stack some wins, make some sales calls, run a good marketing campaign, add value to humanity. It is the best antidepressant on the planet. It is the best anti-anxiety on the planet. A good workout, sleep, sun, add value, make money. There's your antidepressant and anti-anxiety. I believe less than 1% of humanity who claims to be depressed and anxious is truly diagnosable in terms of needing the actual medication. The other 99% of you, just like it's gotten so popular to say, oh, I have ADHD, I have ADHD. Shut the front door. What you have is you are conditioning yourself to scroll so much through social media that you have killed your attention span and you can't focus on shit because you have conditioned yourself to take bite-sized pieces of content in. Because this is why movies like from the 90s and early 2000s, a scene could be like 2, 3, 4 minutes long. Now you watch a movie and it's constantly changing scenes and dialogue, etc., because they know your attention span is the length of a fucking gerbil's attention span. So they have to make fucking movies and entertainment for retarded brains. You're actively retarding your brain and you're like, I have ADHD. No, you don't have ADHD. What you have is a lack of focus because of your amount of content you're consuming on the TikToks and the Instagrams and all this shit at such an alarming rate. Study after study keeps showing that the 3 to 3.5 hours a day of overwhelming your brain with short-term entertaining content that just keeps hitting dopamine receptors. That's fucking you up. That's fucking you up big time. So there's so many poisons, from cigarettes to vaping to alcohol to sugar, right? And the poison of social media. I'm not saying don't get on social media, but limit your time. I'm probably on there maybe 20 minutes. So I might, if I'm going to even make a post, it'll take me maybe 10 minutes to make my post. And then I may spend 20 minutes cruising through social media, and that's it, I'm done. I have enough self-discipline and I have enough good work ahead of me throughout the day that I'm more excited about the work I'm going to do to move my life and my life's mission and purpose forward than to be the content consumer of other creators. I am the creator. I want you to be the creator, not poison yourself by over-consuming other people's content. The consumer, the user. By the way, you know this, don't you? Drugs, Drug dealers and social media companies are the only two entities that call the people that consume their product users. Social media companies call you a user. Drug dealers call you a user. So what does that tell you, right? So if you know that, then you got to eliminate the poisons out of your life, the energy drinks, excessive amounts of coffee. Don't get me wrong, I drink coffee, but it's not mixed with so much fucking sugar and cream and caramel, and I'm not having 13 fucking of these a day. Oh, I hit my 2 p.m. slump. I better go get a fucking Trenta Maga fucking Chino. For what? For what? To further poison yourself, dehydrate yourself? Go walk. Have like fucking 20 ounces of water. Go walk outside, get some sun. If it's cold, it's rainy, it's snowy, good. Go walk and get some rain, fucking snow, and some cold. That'll straighten you right out. Instead of going through and getting some fat, sugar, cream, caramel-laden fucking mocha chino. You know, when I was in Australia, I discovered something. The fucking Starbucks out there, they're empty. They're empty. And when I asked someone there, they're like, oh, that's because Starbucks is just too sweet for us. It's not a coffee shop. He said, Starbucks is a candy store. I was like, oh shit, I never looked at it that way. So yeah, Starbucks is a candy store. He goes, that's a coffee shop across the street. And he pointed to a coffee shop. I was like, oh fuck, how about that? We have gotten so used to our coffee being flavored with creams and sauces and syrups and fucking sugars. And then it can't be a fucking venti because that's too fucking small. We have to get a horse trough named fucking Trenta. What the hell, man, right? So you're poisoning your body. And if you can get past poisoning your body, you further optimize your health, brain and body. Which leads us to the next thing. Number 5 is supplementation. Truth is, you're not getting everything. I'm not getting everything from my foods. And so supplementation is important. Here's the supplements I take. I'm not a fucking supplement expert, but here's the supplements that I take. Creatine. And actually I saw Dr. Mike Israetel, and also shout out to Dr. Mike Israetel for sharing this. Fuck, I want to give credit where credit is due. There was another health expert out there who talked about, the dude, More Plates, More Dates. I think it's Darren or Derek from More Plates, More Dates. He was on Rogan's show, and he was talking about larger doses of creatine. So instead of just 5 grams a day, like 15, 20 grams a day. So now I've upped mine to about 20 grams a day spread out throughout the day, because not only does it make you stronger and fill up your muscles and help with energy, but now they're finding it also helps with cognition, right? And I wish I would have done that stuff, because the shit that I was eating was making me foggy headed. When your gut is all fucked up and you're not getting enough sleep and you're stressed out, you're foggy headed. You can't focus. You don't have mental clarity, and all those things are fucking you up. Now I'm so fucking driven by brain optimization. Like, I want my brain to be as oxygenated as possible. I want it to be as hydrated as possible, and I want those synapses firing very effectively and efficiently. And so I'm going to focus on my sleep, which we'll get to that in just a second. But right now with supplementation, creatine, higher doses of creatine, and do your own research. But it's not only good for your muscles and your strength, but it's also good for cognition as well. And if I remember correctly, also organ health, right? So creatine, omega fats, right? Things like fish oil, salmon oil, krill oil, omega fats is what I take. The Truly Wellness Shot, I don't just promote it, I take it religiously. Some days I take 2 a day, but guaranteed 1 every single morning. And then some days around 1 or 2 in the afternoon, I'll take more. Because right now there's a flu and cold season and everyone around me is sick and I'm not. I credit that to the Truly Wellness Shot and to the fact that I've kept my workouts and my nutrition clean. Workouts high, nutrition clean, good sleep, and I take my wellness shots, right? And beyond that, whey protein. I get it, man. You can't get in 200, 210, 230 grams of protein a day. You're busy. I'm busy. I get it. Go find a quality whey protein and drink it. If you have 250 grams of proteins, you got your 100 grams right there from whey. You can just drink it twice a day, which means you just have to have 2 meals of 50 grams apiece, and there's your 200 grams of protein for a 200-pound dude, right? Look how easy it is to do that. So I'll definitely supplement with whey, and I'll also take extra D3 with K2. The Truly Wellness Shot already has D3 in it, but as I get older, I need more D3. And I go out there and get sun because I want the natural sun D3, the vitamin D from the sun. But I take D3 with K2. And then recently I was like, man, I've been hearing about nootropics all the time and I don't know anything about them. So I started to do the research and I found this thing called X-Brain, like the letter X, X-Brain, and got my hands on it. Love it. It literally, after about 3 or 4 days of taking it, I felt more focus. I felt more mental clarity, and I felt like I'm locked in more. When I used to take large amounts of Adderall, it was like a lighter version of that, right? It was like a lighter version of taking like Adderall consistently. I used to take about 25 milligrams of Adderall a day back in the day. And with Adderall especially, I don't know if you guys ever used it, but the more you use it, the more you have to use it. You have to increase your dosage because I think your receptor sites get saturated. So anyway, I found this thing called X-Brain. Give it a shot. If you're into nootropics, I wasn't. Now I am because, again, I want to optimize. I'm 50. I want my brain to be clear. I want to be focused. And I want my memory to be like my recall to be quick. And I want to be locked in for long periods of time, but I don't want to use things like Adderall. And so with that, X-Brain works for me. Only drawback with X-Brain is you have to take 6 pills a day, right? And so whatever. But it's because they've taken all these proven nootropics, because I read everything about it on their site. They've taken all these proven nootropics and dumped it in there. And I imagine instead of 1 or 2 giant horse pills, it's 6 manageable pills. So do with it what you want. I found it on Amazon. You could also find it on their website, X-Brain. I think it's like xbrain.science. Give it a shot. Blue canister, big giant white X on it called X-Brain. But that's about the extent of the supplements that I take, right? And I'll also take the greens. I like taking greens in because, quite honestly, I might get some veggies in throughout the day, but I don't get enough. And so I take our Truline greens. And to me, it's almost like insurance. I'm going to take it because it's fast, it's convenient, and I want to ensure that I'm getting the micronutrients from those greens that I probably couldn't find anywhere else. And with that said, moving on to number 6, sun and sleep. Sun and sleep. I used to be of the mindset of, I'll sleep when I'm dead. I'm going to work. I'm going to grind. And I remember my buddy Tim Grover at one of our events at the Fit Body Bootcamp World Conference, he told the audience, he goes, hey, what happens when you take a rock or something like a diamond and you just keep grinding it and grinding it and grinding it? And the audience yelled back, well, it becomes dust. He goes, exactly. So if you're like of the mindset that I'm just going to grind and grind and grind, you're just going to turn to dust. In other words, you're going to burn out, right? And we've all probably experienced burnout at some point. And so what I found is sleep helps with recovery, mental recovery, immune system recovery, and muscle recovery. And if I'm breaking down muscle in the gym and while jujitsuing, then I need my recovery. And what I found for me, this is for me, it might work for you too, that I need to go to sleep and wake up at the same time 7 days a week. When I used to go to sleep and wake up 5 days a week at the same time, but then on Saturdays and Sundays, allow myself to stay awake longer. You know, it's a weekend. I'm going to stay awake longer. Not necessarily party hard or anything, just stay awake longer. My circadian rhythm, as I did the research, my circadian rhythm would get off track. And then now I'd be forced to either sleep in longer, so I'd wake up groggy. And then come Monday is my busiest day as an entrepreneur, probably same for you. Monday's a pretty busy, stressful day. Your circadian rhythm's fucked up. You haven't slept well. And now you're going into your busiest day unprepared, poorly optimized, right? So get your at least your whatever, 6, 7, 7.5, 8 hours of sleep. Sleep at the same time, wake up at the same time 7 days a week. I promise you, do that for 30 days and you'll see how your health, how your memory, how your recovery improves. And then sun. Get sun every day. Like just go outside, even if it's cold, short sleeves and shorts on, let the sun hit your body for 10, 15 minutes, walk around in the sun, even on a cold day, it's good for you. If it's a warmer day, take your shirt off and let the sun soak into your body. The vitamin D that you get through the sun can't be competed with any kind of supplements. That's just the reality. And I know, yeah, but I'm working, I'm busy, I work at home, I never have time. By the time I think about it, it's dark. Set a timer, make it a habit, make it a non-negotiable, because if we don't get the sun, guys, like plants, we see what happens with plants. They wilt and they die. Your cells are wilting and dying inside. You just see it later in your life as your brain starts functioning slower and your muscles begin to function slower. Your recovery is slower. Your metabolism is slower. Your gut health isn't working well. Your immune system sucks. You're always getting sick. And you're like, what the fuck's going on? It's poor sleep and lack of sun. 10 to 15 minutes a day of sunlight is very easy to get. Let it hit your face, your arms, your body, your legs, and you will thank me for it. Number 7, in terms of optimizing, stress management. I used to think like, man, I could just put things in a box and let it go home and mentally check out from my stress. Not true. Not true. Here's what I'm going to tell you about stress. Manage your stress. And when you manage your stress, 3 things are concerned. 3 C's. Control what you can control. Cope with what you can't control. And concentrate on what counts. The 3 C's. There's so many things that stresses us out that are within our control and we don't do anything about it. We don't have the conversations. We don't make the big decision that we should. We put things off. We put our head in the sand. We ignore and avoid the thing we need to do to deal with our stress. And then soon it shows up as an anxiety attack, a panic attack. It's whittling away at your brain late at night while you're sleeping, so you're not getting restful sleep. Like, that is what stress does. It is the slow killer of humanity, right? We know that stress is tied to stroke, stress is tied to heart disease. So manage your stress, control the controllables. There's a lot of things that you can control in your life. Control those. Attack all of the things that you need to attack immediately without putting them off, procrastinating, and with relentless pursuit of getting the desired outcome. Control what you can. The second C, cope with the things you can't control. Just do your best to cope with them, put it out of your mind, and move on. It's funny that you'll try and cope with the things that are within your control, and then you hand-wring and dwell on the things that are outside of your control. I want you to control what you can control, cope with the things you can't control, and then the third C is concentrate on what counts. It's your health, it's your family, it's your business, it's your life's mission and purpose. Concentrate on what counts. Do we care about politics? Do we care about what's happening anywhere else? We really shouldn't care as much as we do. We do that as a distraction. We say we care about Ukraine and Israel and Benghazi, or whatever the fuck it's called, Palestine. Who gives a, honestly, who gives a shit? Control what you can control, cope with what you can't control, and concentrate on the things that really matter in your life, your health, your family, your money. And then sure, be worldly, know what's going on in the world, but you don't have to stress out over it so much, post about it, be all up on the fucking YouTubes and watching all the fucking pundits and politicians talking about it, and then freaking out over it so hard that it's starting to weigh on you and eat away at you, right? So manage your stress. And finally, number 8, TRT. Like, I'm a believer in testosterone replacement if you need it. And they've shown it time and time again that stress will reduce your testosterone. So fixing your stress, getting sleep, getting sunlight, eating well, working out, all those things naturally and organically, hydration, all those things increase your testosterone naturally. But if after all that you do a blood test and your testosterone levels are low and you're like not experiencing great sleep, you don't have the motivation you once did, you're kind of foggy headed, and your sex drive is just lacking, you're probably lacking testosterone. It's okay to go get a blood panel done. And if your testosterone or your thyroid is not optimized, optimize it. That's why it's called TRT, testosterone replacement therapy. If your body's missing it, replace it to your healthy, optimized place, your healthy, optimized level, right? I'm on testosterone. I love it. I take what my doctor prescribes. I get a blood panel done every 90 days. I'm good. I'm good. I don't want to be in a funk. I don't, look, hormones can put you into a rage if you take too much, and they'll put you in a depressed, negative state of lethargy and poor sleep and poor focus and foggy headedness and no drive and motivation if you don't have enough. So like everything else, you have to optimize, right? Like a couple of Advils, your headache's solved. Handful of Advil, you're probably going to burn a hole in your stomach, right? So overdosing on anything is bad for you. And so I'm a believer in testosterone replacement therapy. I think if you're, in your 40s and you're experiencing any of the things I just mentioned, hell, maybe you might even be in your late 30s. I would always try and optimize with sunlight, sleep, nutrition, training, stress reduction, and hydration first. And if that doesn't get your testosterone level to your desired place, then I would switch to a doctor who does this stuff professionally and can optimize your hormone levels. And you might even get your thyroid checked. Thank God for Dr. Gabrielle Lyons. She also checked my thyroid. My thyroid was low, got me on thyroid medication. And between that and the testosterone replacement and getting better sleep and nutrition, I'm optimized. I'm dialed in. And when stress comes, I can deal with it better with less friction and frustration, with less wear and tear. I'm not having anxiety attacks and panic attacks like I used to 10, 12, 13 years ago. And so the greatest gift you can give yourself is that, man. Optimize yourself physically and mentally for the long haul. Because what's the point of the money if you can't enjoy it because you're stressed out, overwhelmed, depressed, anxious, unhealthy to enjoy it? You got all this money, but you're so fat and out of shape, you don't have the endurance to go hike Mount Kilimanjaro. You don't have the endurance or the strength to get on the mats with your son or your daughter and roll and grapple. Like, great experiences and opportunities you're missing out on because of your health, physical or mental, is struggling. And so I hope that you take these 8 things and you apply them to your life. Let your body and your mind be optimized at the highest level and maintain that optimization, and be a proponent of getting others to be optimized in their health, their body, and their mind as well. And I hope I see you at BK Live May 31st at the Grove Theater in Anaheim. It is going to be a transformational, life-changing experience. I promise you that. But until then, remember this, that average is the enemy. Success is your responsibility, and change can take place in an instant if you are willing to flip the switch. I'll see you next time.